Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. So today we're going to be making this lovely, beautiful and easy to sew top. So if that's what you want to see, then keep watching this video to the very end and let's head straight to the pattern drafting. So you'll be needing your front and back basic bodies, okay? And I'm gonna head to my bust point is there. I've labeled half length and waist length. From my half length to the actual blouse length is 5 inches. I've written it out, okay? So we'll be working on the front bodies. Because this is a free top, we don't want the armhole to be tight on us. I'll be going down by 1 inch, thereby making this particular 1 inch line our new armhole line. Just as you're seeing me doing now, that's what I'm going to be doing. That's what you're going to be doing on your own. So 1 inch, and we'll be joining that 1 inch, we'll be extending our armhole rather to that 1 inch mark. And that's going to be our new armhole, because this is a free dress. We don't want the armhole to hug on us like it's fitted, so that is our new armhole. And remember, same thing also you're going to be doing to the back. So having done this now, I'll go ahead also to measure 1 inch on all the sides. On my bust length, I'll measure 1 inch on my waistline and also on the blouse line. I'm gonna have to attach those 1 inch just so it's more free. But if you don't want it to be more free, you can leave yours the way it is. Just do not close up your dart. But I have to add that additional 1 inch because I want mine to be very, very free. So 2 inches from my shoulder line, I also go ahead 2 inches from where my neckline stopped, like so, and I'll connect it like so, just so we form the cape of the front bodies. And that's what you can see me do now. And for that opening at the front cape, I'll go ahead to mark half inch. You can use 1 inch, but nothing more than 1 inch, either half inch or 1 inch. So depending on how apart you want them to be. So from the tip of the neckline, I'm going to be connecting that line like so. And I'll go ahead to label front cape or front collar. So for the back collar, I'll go ahead to attach the shoulder of my back bodies and the shoulder of my front bodies together like so. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing for more beautiful and easy tutorial like so. So I've gone ahead to tape it down, my front shoulder and my back body's shoulder. And also I'll go ahead to get the 2 inches also at the back like so. And I'll go ahead to join this together just so it forms my back collar also. I'm going to head to label back collar. So for these very parts of the back, the center back, we'll be leaving it like that because we'll be putting our button there. Also, you want to attach the 1 inch also to the back, and also you'll be reducing your back armhole by 1 inch just like we did to the front. And I'll go ahead to use my scissors to cut this out. Also add an additional 1 inch on your bust, waist and blouse length of the back bodies also. So having done this now, I'll go ahead to trace out the whole of that collar, so just so it forms a single piece before I cut on my bodies. Okay, I'm not tracing out that part where I ruled out. I'm not going to be tracing that part. I'm only tracing out this whole part. So I'm going to have to trace it out, and as you can see, I've marked the notch to indicate where my shoulder is. Okay, I'll also be marking that notch on the fabric. It's going to help you. Also, I've also gone ahead to mark where is front and where is back. So we'll head straight to the sewing. So having done that now, I'm going ahead to join my back pieces together like so. The center back, I'm going ahead to join my center back pieces together like so. I'm leaving 5 inches from the neckline of the center back where I'm going to be attaching my button, just so I can easily wear this, and I'll be stitching down from that 5 inches that I left like so. As you can see, this is what I'm trying to say, okay? So I haven't done that now. I'll go ahead to join the shoulder of the front and the shoulder of the back bodies together. This tutorial is actually very easy, and this top is very stylish. Yours should be very beautiful than mine. If you consider this tutorial very helpful, please like, share and subscribe to this channel, okay? Thank you. So I'm going ahead to stitch up the shoulders of both sides like so. So having done that also, I'll go ahead to sew up the sides using the seam allowance that I left. So I'll go ahead to sew up the sides. So moving over to the collar now, I've already cut the main collar and also the lining, which is shorter than the main collar, just so when I fold in, the main collar comes out and the lining is inside. So I'm going to be sewing like so, making sure that all my notches align, the shoulder notch, the back and the front. So I'm going to be sewing like this, the curved part. Also, I'll go ahead to sew the outer edges of the collar. And I haven't done that now, I'll go ahead to just do little cuts, notches around this rounded edge, just so when I turn it out, it lays flatly even before I iron, okay? Just so when I turn it, it lays flatly and it is not bulging even before I go ahead to iron it. So I'll be using my scissors to bring out those pointed edges, and then this is what I'm having for my collar. So I'll top stitch that part which I'm going to be attaching to the neck. So heading over to sew the collar now, you want to attach the right side of the collar to the wrong side of your bodice. Right side of the collar to the wrong side of your bodice, making sure that your shoulder seams align. Your shoulder notch on the collar and the shoulder seam of your bodice align. And having done that, I'm going ahead to sew like so. You might consider adding an additional 0.9 or 1 inch, that is half inch on both sides of your collar before cutting onto the fabric, okay? After drafting the pattern, you can consider adding 0.5 inch on both sides before cutting on the collar, before cutting on the fabric. So having done that, I've gone ahead to open it up like so, and this is what I'm having. I'm going ahead now to top stitch, not really top stitching, yes, I'm going to stitch it down. Actually, it wouldn't show. I'm not stitching. I'm stitching on the fabric and not on the collar, just so it lays more flat and nice. Like so. So I've gone ahead to sew both of them, and I just use that lace trimming, and this is where my button is going to be. Okay, for the armhole now, I'm going to cut a long strap of fabric, and I folded them and I sewed the edges together. So I'll go ahead to sew it like a kind of gather it, just so I sew it around the armhole area. I'm running a loose stitch now, and I'll go ahead to sew it around the armhole area. After running the loose stitch, I'll go ahead to gather before sewing it on the armhole area. You want to separate the thread and pull like so. So having done this now, I'll go ahead to sew from my very shoulder point all the way down. You can just be stylish with this. I also went ahead to use some lace trimmings to beautify my collar. You can also want to use whatever you love. It could be beadings and whatever to beautify your collar. Actually, that skirt that I used to pair this top, I made it, and I'll be dropping the link to the tutorial is also on my channel. I'm going to be dropping the link on how I achieved those beads in the front of the skirt. I have to remove the gathers on the strap fabric that I cut. Then I started box splitting it, needless gathering it. So I had to just remove the gathered thread and I started box splitting it like so. As you can see me do, I'm currently box splitting it now. I had to remove those gathered thread and I started box splitting it, okay? I'll be leaving the link to how I achieved those beaded design on that skirt in the comment section. So you want to go check that tutorial out after watching this, okay? Just so you could use that beaded method to beautify your own collar. Or if you have lace trimming, you can use it to beautify your collar. The straps I cut is actually so long, so I had to reduce it and fold it inside and sew it like so. So I'll go ahead to do the same thing on the other side of this dress. And yes, this is what we are having. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.